Hello students, welcome to the new lecture, and in this lecture we are going to discuss about the endemic species and also conservation of the biodiversity. Okay, first we will start with the endemic species. So what is meant by endemic species? Endemic means any organism, either it may be plant or animals, whether it may be plants or animals that are restricted to the particular area of a country, that is known as endemic species. For example, if you see mango plant, it is only growing in the India. Okay, so it is only growing to the India, only restricted to the India, that is known as endemic species. Okay, let us consider the elephant are living in the country, they are living only in the country, and they are known as endemic species. Okay, so endemic species means where they belong and where they live is known as endemic species. Okay, so here if you see the Western Ghats, it is going to support around 4,000 different types of plant species. Okay, means 4,000 different types of plant. So out of which only 1,500 plants are endemic species only. Remaining all are non-endemic species. Means they are coming from some other places. These plants are not native to this region. It means they are not native to the Western Ghats. So hence we can call them as non-endemic species. How many are endemic species? Only 1,500 plants are only endemic species in the Western Ghats. Okay, that is about the endemic species. So the species means what? First of all, we are using from the first time we are using the word the species. What is meant by species? The species. Okay, so the species means the similar organisms, the group of similar organisms, they are known as species. Example, human beings, they are homo sapiens, we all are one species. Example, dogs, all are one species. The plants, all are one species. Example, mango plants, one species. Rose plants, all rose plants, one species. Donkeys, one species. Buffaloes, one species, and so on. It means if you see human beings are similar, it means all human beings will have one head, two eyes in the head, and also one tongue in the mouth, and so on. It means these characters are similar. Okay, they are known as species. The species means the group of similar organisms. You can distinguish between the human beings and dogs. You can distinguish between the human beings and plants and elephants, and so on. So remember, the species means the group of similar organisms. They are known as species. Okay, so these species are going to interbreed among themselves. For example, if you see the animals, okay, like dogs are going to interbreed themselves. Okay, and they give rise to dog. Okay, so dogs are going to interbreed among themselves. Example, if you see, dogs will not interbreed with camel. Okay, and camels will not interbreed with giraffes, and so on. So such kind of a procedure is done in the species. Species means they are going to interbreed among themselves, and they give rise to their young ones only. Dogs, example, puppies are given by the dogs only, and next piglets are given by the pigs, and so on. It means they are going to give themselves only. Okay, and they are capable of reproducing sexually or asexual mode. Okay, what is meant by mode of reproduction? Means which type, whether it is whether it is sexual or asexual, that is known as mode of reproduction. So example, if you see, the sexual mode of reproduction is seen in higher animals. Example, like higher animals like dogs, buffaloes, human beings, cows, buffaloes, sheep, etc. These all are higher animals. In the higher animals, these species are going to reproduce sexual mode only. And if you see in lower organisms like bacteria, fungi, yeast, etc., they all are lower organisms. So these lower organisms are unicellular, and they are going to reproduce asexually. Okay, so in the previous class also we have discussed about the sexual and asexual mode of reproduction. What is sexual mode? Okay, sexual mode of reproduction is nothing but formation of gametes. Okay, the gametes so are formed. These gametes are fused. Example, the spermatozoa and also ovum, they fuse together to form a zygote. Okay, this is zygote. This zygote is nothing but a single cell stage. So it divides, it multiplies into embryo. This embryo will turn into fetus, and this fetus will be delivered. This is known as a progeny. Okay, this is known as a progeny. So this is known as sexual. Okay, so what is asexual? There is no formation of the gametes. The gametes will not be formed. Hence, the parent gives rise to its new young one. It means, let us consider this is a bacteria. This bacteria undergoes asexual mode of reproduction. It means one bacteria divides into two. This is known as asexual mode of reproduction. This process is known as binary fission. Binary fission. Okay, binary fission. Okay, so binary refers to the two. Okay, number two, and fission refers to the division. Okay, here the division of a cell into two. One cell is going to divide into two cells. Okay, so this is known as binary fission. It is a asexual mode of reproduction in lower organisms. Okay, this is the difference between sexual and asexual mode of reproduction. Okay, so next one will be the origin of biodiversity. Origin of biodiversity and balance. So in the last classes also we have discussed about the biodiversity. What is biodiversity and what is the balance? Biodiversity means different organisms living. Okay, different organisms and variations among these organisms in a particular area, that is known as biodiversity. Okay, here the natural calamities causes destruction and wipe out the biodiversity of a particular place. You might have seen different diseases and tsunami and also earthquakes. These are the natural calamities. And natural calamities means the some kind of danger coming from the nature. So that is known as natural calamities. Earthquake is a natural calamity. Okay, earthquake is a natural calamity. Tsunami is also a natural calamity. So next, floods also a natural calamity, and so on. These natural calamities, what it will do? These natural calamities are going to kill the organisms, whether it may be human beings or animals, whatever it may be. So these natural calamities will cause some kind of destruction and wipe out. Wipe out is nothing but killing. Okay, wipe out is nothing but killing. So kill the organisms. So in the particular area, biodiversity is damaged. So after some time, after maybe after 1 month or 2 months or after 1 or 2 years, again that biodiversity again in that area, so the habitat will get balanced again. It means new organisms will grow in that area, and new organisms will come to that area. That is known as biodiversity. So habitat will get balanced again due to sudden invasion of organisms. Invasion is nothing but coming. So these organisms will come from some other area. They will come from some other area and they will settle over here, and as a result habitat will get balanced again. So example, these organisms will be the plants. Plants will grow over there. Insects will come. Let us consider this is the area. In this area, the natural calamities has been occurred. So all organisms like plants and animals are dead. So after 1 year, so the plants will grow and also insects will come and also other microorganisms will come over here and so on. Hence the balance habitat will get balanced again. Okay, so this is about balance. Balance means nothing but so growing of all different organisms under the living condition of all different organisms in the particular area, that is known as balance. Okay, so next one topic will be the invasive alien species. It is also known as IAS. IAS means invasive alien species. So what is meant by invasive? Invasive is nothing but coming from some other region or coming from some other place to this place. Okay, if Hyderabad is the place, if someone comes to rule the Hyderabad from other country, that person we call him as invasion. Okay, invasion is nothing but without permission they are coming here to rule, okay, or to live. That is known as invasion. Alien is nothing but a person, the person who do not belong here. So that person do not belong here, that is known as alien. Okay, you might have seen the alien species in the planet outside of the earth. Okay, what is meant by alien? Alien means anything, any microorganism or any human being or any living organism or anything that do not belong to this place is known as alien. So we are calling it as invasive alien species. Means some kind of organisms that do not belong to this place are coming from other place, that is known as invasive alien species. So these organisms are non-natives. The non-natives means they do not belong to this place, or they do not belong to this region. They are known as non-native species. And introduced or invades. IAS can be threat. Okay, it means invasive alien species. These are organisms can be threat to the biodiversity, that may lead to the negative impact, means they are going to cause some kind of problems. What these organisms will cause problems here? So first one will be the food shortage. They will consume lot amount of food. As a result, organisms which are living here, okay, they are the natives of this organism, they will not get sufficient amount of food. Why? Because these IAS organisms will eat more. Okay, next is the security. Next, diseases. These invasive alien species may carry some kind of diseases, and these organisms may spread diseases to the local organisms. So hence these are the negative impact. Okay, so next we are going to discuss the examples of the invasive alien species. Some invasive alien species are, first example is Spanish flag plant of a forest. So this plant is going to live in the forest. It means it is came from some other area, and it is going to consume lot amount of food in the forest. Okay, and this plant will grow a lot, and also it will cause some kind of inconvenience to other plants. Next is the water hyacinth of lake. You might have seen in the water bodies in the everywhere. Okay, everywhere. So if you see the fresh water body, or some other kind of water body or a river, on the river you can see small green color plants, okay, with leaves, okay, with the tiny leaves and so on. So they are known as water hyacinth. Okay, these organisms, these plants will grow faster, and they will cover entire lake. As a result, what will happen? They will block the sunlight. Let us consider this is the pond. Okay, on the surface of the pond, this hyacinth, okay, they will cover the entire pond. As a result, the sunlight will not go into the deep of the pond. As a result, the plants which are living, small plants which are living inside the pond will get died. Okay, they will die, and also the fishes will not get a sufficient amount of nutrients and no sufficient amount of light. Okay, this is the problem that is caused by the water hyacinth. Next, the pigeons in Hyderabad. So previously the pigeons were not present in Hyderabad, but these pigeons came from somewhere. Okay, they are known as aliens. So these pigeons came to the Hyderabad, and they caused some problem to the crows. Nowadays you don't find much crows in the Hyderabad. Why? Because due to the pigeons, so these crows went somewhere. So why the crows went somewhere? These pigeons will consume almost all food material. As a result, the crows will not get enough amount of food material. As a result, the crows left the Hyderabad. Only very less amount of crows are present in Hyderabad due to the invasion of the pigeons into the Hyderabad. Okay, so this is about the few examples. It means 3 examples for the invasive alien species. So next, the great diversity can be seen in food crops. Example, 1200 varieties of different rice species are present. Okay, again in that tens of thousands of varieties of rice is present in a single species. So the diversity means different types, that is known as diversity. Okay, next, the importance of biodiversity and its conservation. Why the biodiversity is important? So here you see the biodiversity is most important. Its conservation is also most important. What happens if the biodiversity is not conserved? What happens if the biodiversity is damaged? So if you see example, the plants are going to grow flowers. The flowers are present on the plants. So sometimes, most of the times, butterflies will sit on the flowers. Okay, here there is important process going on. So these butterflies are doing the cross pollination. Okay, not only butterflies, honeybees, they are also going to do the important process. They help in the cross pollination. So pollen grains are transferred from one flower to another flower. Let us consider this is a flower, and this is also another flower. So this flower, so from this flower to this flower, and this flower to this flower, the pollen grains will get transferred. So as a result, the cross pollination will occur in these plants. If the cross pollination occurs, the plants are going to grow more amount of food grains. So this is important. But in return, the honeybees are going to get some amount of nectar from these flowers. As a result, they are going to produce the honey. Okay, they are going to produce the honey. So this honey is most important for us. We are collecting the honey from the honeybees or honey hives. So we are using this honey for the preparation of medicines, and also preparation for preparation of important components and cosmetics and so on. So this is most important. If you damage, if you kill the honeybees by using pesticides on this plant, what will happen? The honeybees will die, butterflies will die. As a result, there is no production of the honey, there is no production of the food grains. The food grains will decrease most. Let us consider previously, due to the cross pollination of these butterflies, 100 kgs per hectare is there. Let us consider 100 kgs per hectare. So because of the death of these honeybees and butterflies, the 100 kgs will get reduced to 20 kgs or 30 kgs. Okay, so the drastic decrease will be seen in these agricultural food production. So it means if we disturb the biodiversity, and if you don't conserve the biodiversity, we are going to face lot amount of problems in the future. Okay, so how you can conserve? The first one is the measure of flora and fauna along with the conscious steps of conservation. Conscious means nothing but careful and also intelligent steps. So these careful and intelligent steps are just to conserve the biodiversity. So if the biodiversity is disturbed, we are going to face lot amount of problems. So to help the biodiversity conservation, next the government took some initiatives. Those initiatives are nothing but national parks and also sanctuaries. They are the initiatives taken by the Indian government to conserve the wildlife. Okay, so these wildlife are conserved with the help of these national parks and also sanctuaries. So next is steps towards conservation. So how you conserve the biodiversity, and what are the steps to be taken to conserve the biodiversity? So the first one is that tigers belong to the cat family. Okay, it means all cats, tigers, and they are going to belong to the cat family, and around 60% of the tigers world population is there in India only. Okay, so due to human activities, due to the human mistakes, so what happened? The tigers percentage from 60% to 30% decrease is occurred. Okay, 60% to 35% tiger population is decreased. So this much amount of percentage is decreased. So because of the human activities. What are the human activities? Like mistakes, like poaching, killing tigers, etc. Okay, these are the reasons. These are the human wrongs and human mistakes. Because of these reasons, the tigers population is decreased from 60% to 35%. So here the government of India, again, somehow it took some initiatives and launched programs to save the tigers. These tigers from the extinction, and also 50 tiger reserves were arranged and established with hitched population, or the stable occupancy of 88,985 square kilometers. So this much amount of square kilometers is utilized for the saving of these tigers. Okay, so the health of the ecosystem depends upon the tigers population. Example, population control of deers. Let us consider the tiger population. All tigers are completely dead, all lions are completely dead. What happens? If the tigers are dead, what happens? Deer population. Okay, deer population is going to increase. Here we have to see the prey and predator relationship. So what is meant by predator? Okay, predator is nothing but, so the organism that will kill. Okay, that will kills. Okay, prey, prey, prey means what? That will get killed. Okay, the organisms that will get killed. So here the prey example is the deer. So if the tigers were killed, the deer population drastically increases. If the deer population increases, what happens? There is more amount of feeding on the forest. Okay, after a few months, so complete forest will get emptied. No plants will survive. Why? Because the deer population is increasing drastically. So the deforestation, it is a kind of deforestation done by the deer population. So because of tigers are killed. So this, it means it is going to show some kind of a negative effect in the ecosystem. So as a result, whether it may be insect, whether it may be tiger or deer or giraffe, whatever it may be, all organisms should live. Okay, why? Because if one organism is dependent on the other organism. It is a food web. Okay, it is a food web and a food chain. If one organism dies, it will show impact on the another stage of the food ecosystem, and eventually the human beings are going to suffer. Okay, so this is the health of the ecosystem depends upon the tigers population. Example, population control of the deers. Okay, it is most important. So there is activity 5. So activity 5, they especially the population. Okay, so all this population is kept in control. So in the activity 5 there is small work, so that is nothing but, so generally the government is going to take the forest land, and that forest land is utilized. Let us say this is the forest, and this forest, some amount of land is taken, some forest is taken, this will be made into national park. Okay, national park, and no other people will not get entered. The government will not allow anyone to enter into this region. Okay, so now the question is, some people are living in the forest, they are going to live in this region. What about them? These people are known as tribal people. It means they don't know outside world, just they know how to live in the forest only. What about their life? What about their life? So this is a question. And prepare a short notes or short information to about these people. Okay, so next is another topic, that is a national park and also sanctuary. So we know that national park and sanctuaries, they are used for the saving or conservation of conservation of wildlife. So what is the difference between the national park and the sanctuary? So here the national parks are large area and used for the conservation of wildlife, and no other human beings will not enter. Okay, even the grazing animals like cows and buffaloes also will not enter into the national parks. Okay, so next is animals like tigers, rhinoceros. Okay, so only these are going to live in the national park. Okay, so it means the organisms which are threat of extinction, they are kept in the national park, so and also they are saved. So now coming to the sanctuaries, they are the places for the conservation of the species with objective of allowing human activities without affecting the habitat. So let us consider this is the sanctuary. Human beings can enter into this sanctuary, so but without disturbing the sanctuary or without disturbing the habitat of the animals. So the people can enter. So this is only the difference. National park means no entry to the human beings and other organisms, and sanctuary means entry to the human beings and also some other organisms, but without disturbing the habitat. Okay, and the national park example is Jim Corbett National Park, and sanctuaries example is Pakal Sanctuary in Warangal. Okay, these are the differences between the national park and sanctuary. Both are used for the conservation of the biodiversity and also conservation of the wildlife. Okay, and I hope this lecture is helpful to you, and if you have any doubts or questions or suggestions, feel free to post in the comment section, and we will try to answer to your questions or doubts. Okay, and we will discuss the next topic in the next lecture. Okay.